Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantel Francis, here with Miss Mansa to talk about episodes 7 and 8 of Love Island Games. Miss Mansa, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great and I'm excited. We have had so much happen in those last two episodes, so I'm looking forward to diving in.
Okay, I know that we need the original Love Islands to be able to have Love Island Games,
Mm-hmm.
but Love Island Games is delivering.
Oh, absolutely. Love Island Games is giving 100%.
100%. And I think it's kind of like how I kind of only watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette just to have context for The Bachelor in Paradise because I think
Mm-hmm.
it's the better product. I
Yeah,
think it's a similar vibe with Love Island Games because it's just such a better show, and I think it's better because we know all the people already.
absolutely. I don't think that it would be as impactful if we didn't know their backstory, didn't know what they had been going through, what led them to here. Like, have our fan favorites already, kind of like you're making assumptions about alliances. I think that having all of the characters from previous seasons adds so much to the show.
Especially knowing, this episode, we have Al 28 now and Georgia
Woo! I mean, he
25.
has grown.
Okay, it could be because I believe he's a Leo and I love a Leo vibe, but he is so confident and sexy.
But to be fair, he always was though. I feel like
he's just
he
too
gained
young
that
though.
vibe
He's just a
in
little
this season
older.
too. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
more
he
mature
did.
now, but he had that kind of like sage spiritual energy in his
Wait,
first season.
what season were you in now? So it's like 7 years ago, right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
I
like
guess so.
21 or so when he first went on. Oh no, it must have
Wow.
been less years. Because Georgia is 25 and she was like 20 on their season.
Okay.
I
Oh, right,
think.
because seasons, you know what it is? Because I think
Oh, 6
nine
was a winter season, 9 was a
exactly
winter season.
9 was
Yeah.
the winter season. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, he has aged quite well. It could also be the fact that he's living in LA for a bit, dating, like I said, Lisa Rinna's daughter,
Mhm.
being on the Housewives of Beverly Hills a little bit. I
Yeah.
think that he's had a bit of a glow up.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you know what though? As much as like I normally am not a fan of a man in a heel, I'm into his like little Paso Doble heels. Like, like okay, yeah. It's like I
I
don't
was
know why I
thinking
didn't see it for Curtis,
flamenco,
but I
but
see it for real.
they're fully Paso Doble heels with palazzo pads, and I'm
Yes.
okay with it. Now, when I saw them come out, though, I was thinking of you kind of clocking Johnny with his little heel there, just to give him a little
Oh.
height. And so I'm wondering if that's the same with Al, because Al in the morning, he's just a little bit shorter than the vibe that he gives off when he's in his
Exactly.
little Paso Doble pumps.
Exactly.
So
When he's gliding across that villa in those Paso Doble heels.
well, he is older and he's wiser. He's aged like a fine wine. And so is Georgia. She was always beautiful, but she has a confidence about her. I like those
Mhm.
bangs that she has rocking.
Yeah.
I think that they were good bombshells from the UK to bring into the season.
Absolutely, but it's feeling very UK heavy. I wonder how much longer that's going to last.
Well, you know the people that are still to come, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, so who's to come? So Carrington, I'm not a fan of Carrington, but he will
I didn't like him on a season, so I'm hoping he redeems himself now.
100%. But I just didn't like the whole drama with him and Kirsten or Kristen.
Mhm.
Kirsten. I just didn't feel that, especially, but she was so into him, and he really gave her
Yeah.
zero indication that he was interested
Yeah.
further. So I didn't really like that storyline. But he was a handsome man, and I can see him maybe. Who do you think he'd match up with?
Ooh, that's a great question. I
Not
wonder
Liberty.
of everyone that's in there now, I'm gonna say maybe Sally. Oh,
No,
Megan.
they're from the same season though, right? So would
Oh,
that
right,
work?
yeah, but maybe not. Then maybe
Megan might just
well, it seems like Megan, I mean, we'll get to it, but it seems like Megan is up for everything.
Yes. I mean, you remember her from her season. She was definitely the temptress, and like she loves getting her way and using her sexual feminine wiles to get what she wants, which is a-okay. I've also seen her on a couple of other UK reality shows where it was the same. Like I think it was like Celebs Go Dating I saw her on,
Yeah.
and like so she's definitely knows what she was hired to do on this
Yeah.
season,
She's
and
there.
she's doing
She's
it.
100% there for a bit of fun and a bit of flirting, a little banter. She's not looking for anything serious.
No, and I wouldn't be going to Megan for anything serious. I mean, she's seriously good looking, but for me, that's all that she gives off for me. So one of Megan's exes is AL, and she kind of whispers this to Kira when he enters the villa. Were you excited to see how this drama unfolded?
I was, but I had a feeling that they were going to be civil because it has been so many years. And as we said, EL's been living in LA. He's doing his own thing. And even towards the end of their season, you know, had already moved on to different people. Like both of them had moved on. So I didn't expect it to be like any kind of animosity coming in.
Did you remember specifically though, kind of what happened? Like from what it seems, because we'll talk about it later, but what it seems is that they kind of got together, they had a hideaway, they did whatever, it didn't work out, and that
I can't remember exactly, but I do remember it was really early in the season, and it was one of those really like intense and quick connections, and you know they were glued to each other's side from the very beginning, and then I think it was maybe around Casa, then she decided to jump ship, and then that he was blindsided.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she jumped ship. That's good
Yeah.
to know. Okay, so these two bombshells that are coming in are going to have the opportunity to save a couple. And so, what do you think about this new twist?
I like it. I really did like that addition. But I'm actually wasn't surprised by the choices that they made.
That's 100%. So basically, Georgia gets to go first. She gets to choose one of the three guys. How many guys were there at that moment?
Yeah, there were three.
Three. So it was between Toby, Curtis, and Callum, who she was going to be choosing between. I was like, Georgia Steele's type is a mixed black man from the UK. That's her. That's her type. You know, she was on X on the Beach. She was with Callum. I think they were even engaged and they were living together. What was the guy's name that she was with on her season?
Oh, Josh,
like another mixed skin black man. And there's one more person I think that was in that same demographic, but I think anyways, it seems like her type might be Toby. So I was like, she's taking Toby for sure. And so Toby and Sally are now separated and Sally's kind of standing there. And I was like, unless AL is going to go Team UK strong and choose Liberty, but he said that he didn't know anybody that was standing up there. So that I was like, I think he's going to choose Sally because that just would probably make the most sense just from a game strategy. Were you surprised by either their choices?
No, I wasn't at all. I was thinking about who was there standing there, and it felt like, from what I know about EL from his previous season, that Sally was going to be the choice. And then obviously, exactly, Georgia, she loves the light skin.
Now, jumping ahead to the next episode, I kind of wish that Curtis and Lisa stayed, but we'll talk more about that a little bit.
Okay.
So now that Liberty and Callum is going to be basically going against Lisa and Curtis, and all the safe couples from the challenge are going to be choosing which couple they wanted to stay. Now, do you think it would have been better if they got to choose which man and which female, or do you like the fact that they just dumped a couple or saved a couple?
It's always more dramatic when they choose one man and one woman because, you know, they split up couples, right? And then that kind of creates more drama going forward and also more opportunities for other Islanders to kind of get to know other people. Like, for example, if they had kept Curtis, I think that he would have continued to pursue Justine for sure. But I think I would have preferred that they chose one man, one woman.
That's what I was hoping that they would do as well. Like obviously Liberty, I think is going to be there for the whole season. She's just like that likable, cute, fun person that is always having a little bit of a hard luck in love on these shows, but I just don't feel like she's going to be dumped anytime soon. I think she might jump to somebody else, but and it won't work out, and then go to somebody else and then it not work out. But I just don't see Liberty getting dumped because she's just so sweet.
No, absolutely. I think I saw, it was on Twitter, someone said Liberty is like the personification of, oh, bless her heart.
She is. Oh, bless her heart.
You just want to give her a hug.
I do want to give her a hug, and I kind of just want to big sister her and just be like, but she got a little bit of big sister attitude later on in one of these episodes.
I'm excited to talk about that.
So Jack and Justine, they're when they're deliberating, they're talking about how one of the couples were vulnerable twice. So they decided to save Callum and Liberty. Any surprises there?
No, I'm not surprised because we see Jack and Callum hanging out a lot. I think Jack is really entertained by Callum's reinvention of the English language. Every day it's a new word. It's it's like literacy with Callum. And then exactly, Liberty's a sweetheart. They're friends from the UK. I can expect, it seems like he was closer to Liberty than he was to Curtis. And so it makes sense that that's who they chose.
So then also there was Kira and Megan deliberating, and Megan's basically saying that Liberty was her best girlfriend there. So no surprise to me that they're choosing Liberty and Callum as well.
I think she's still waiting for the throuple.
Really? I don't know.
Maybe not after this episode, but at that point in time, she was still thinking about it.
And were you surprised that they still made Johnny and Jess go, considering it was
the majority? That was exactly what I thought. I was like, this is unnecessary.
But they want drama, so because they could always be like, oh, we're of course we're gonna keep you, and it just would put a little bit of doubt potentially. But they basically say that that Liberty deserves to find love, and he feels like home.
Deserves to find love because Jess stole your man. I honestly, if I was Liberty, I would have been so annoyed in that moment. Don't patronize me.
I know, right? It's oh, you deserve to find love. Now that I'm with the man that you thought that was going to choose you. So, but we're going to save you, Liberty and Callum.
Yeah.
Jess. We'll be getting to her, I'm sure. So Imani apologizes to Lisa when they're kind of giving all their hugs, saying goodbye. You know what? I'm happy that Lisa's gone because she kind of brought a little bit of a downer cloud. Just a downer. It's I get where she's coming from. I get that it's annoying to be targeted because you're a strong couple, but play the game more. Don't you have any idea of what game show you're on? Make new friends. I know it's harder for her because she doesn't the language thing, and then also not having anybody else from her season there. I get it, but I don't know. I just feel a little bit more likable.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, looking back, I feel like she was maybe just more focused on her connection with Curtis and nothing else. But also that could just be the edit, right? But it just seemed like she was there for Curtis and she had no other interest in anyone else. She unfortunately won the first challenge and then became a target, but she never knew how to, I guess, dig herself out of that hole and
use her power to make friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
But make friends, and if she was so invested in Curtis, couldn't she just realize that he just wasn't that into her?
Right? That recoupling when he chose her again, it seemed like he was okay.
I guess it's you. And we heard him say that well, if I hadn't had the opportunity to pick Lisa, I would have chose Justine.
And he said it so quickly before the question was even finished being answered.
So everybody hugs them and they leave the villa. Just knowing what happens later, yes, I wouldn't have minded them staying because it might have brought some drama. But for the most part, I'm okay to see them go.
Yeah.
So we see Celia and Eyal chatting, and she said that because they walked by Johnny, and she's like, "Oh, that's my ex." And so he's asking her about her ex and her ex being there and how she feels. And he doesn't even bring up the Megan situation in this.
I was surprised by that because this is your perfect opportunity to be oh, and by the way, Megan is mine. But it also could be that he doesn't really consider her an ex because they were together for 10 days on the show and have lived so many lives in between. So that could be the reason why.
Yeah, I agree. But it also could, I would be like, oh, it's your ex. Well, she's not really my ex, but like,
Yeah.
just so you know that Megan and we had a thing on our season.
Yeah, that was the perfect opportunity for them to do that.
Easy to just slide that in. She does mention though that she doesn't kiss with Toby, and I was thought that was pretty interesting that she was divulging that because I felt like it was a little bit personal
Yeah.
for such a first conversation.
Mhm.
But then also I was like, oh, why aren't they making out? Like Sally
Yeah.
likes to make out.
But you know what though? Now it puts into context Jack's like enthusiasm about him like encouraging Toby to like pull her for a chat. Cause maybe he was seeing like you're not giving her enough energy. She needs more. And that's why he was
Yeah.
really pushing for it, you know?
Like even if you notice the body language with Jack, with Justine, like they're lying together and he'll like turn his head and just give her like a half kiss on her lips and like just like a small little affections that's not like a full makeout, but it's like, ooh,
Like
you're
I'm
here.
I'm into
I like
I'm
you.
touching you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm touching you, I'm kissing you, I'm feeling you. Like it doesn't take that much effort just to show a woman that you're interested. And so I could understand why Sally's kind of irritated by it, but I was just a little surprised that she would share that so quickly with AL.
Absolutely. Like they just met.
Now, what do you think about Sally's icks? Or her ick is that she doesn't like men to wear socks. Now, I thought that it was because like it just looks awkward to see a man maybe putting on socks.
Hunched over. But this is the problem with icks though, is it's like I don't ever want to see you be vulnerable or anything because it's like all of the icks that I like see go viral is like a guy like, you know, kicking his feet too fast underwater and like that you know
I get it
you know what I mean, and it's like that same kind of thing. It's like ew, like because we have this expectation that like no, be a man all the time. Putting on socks though, Sally, come on.
I don't think it's putting on socks, it's wearing socks because she says that she doesn't
raw dogging
it.
Smell shoes that have been raw dogged. She does not know what she's talking about, unless maybe she's one of those people that likes the smell of feet because sock shoes are disgusting.
I mean, I think like a pair of like running shoes with little socks on guys is cute. Like I think I'd get the ick to see like skinny ankles on the top of like some big trainers, you know?
No, for me it's the smells. I'm taking socks over smell every day.
Now his ick was also really, really odd. And so his ick was when girls are drunk and decide to show him that they can put their feet behind their head.
Okay, he was talking about someone specifically. Like you know that he was in a position where he really liked this girl and she got too drunk and did something and he was like, oh no, and this is where it ends.
That is also very unattractive to be honest.
No, absolutely. I mean, but I get it though. Like that's the same as the drunk girls taking their shoes off. It's like you gotta thug it out. I'm not trying to see that.
Well, we do learn in the next episode that Toby's ick is girls taking off their shoes on the dance floor. I don't think that's an ick. It's kind of gross, but I think I've done it before, so maybe that's why it's fine.
No, I'm like one of those people that when I'm going out, like the outfit is the outfit and it will remain the outfit until I enter my house, even if I'm hobbling in pain.
It's true. But like
I will suffer for fashion.
I'm like a big dancer, and so like if I usually wear shoes that are very comfortable to dance in and wear all night, but I'm sure there's been at least one time where I've taken off my shoes. It might be down south though.
You have no chance with Toby.
Phew. Okay, good. Do you have any icks? Do you have any icks?
Do I have any icks? Yes, breathing too much in my space.
Okay, that's a big ick.
That's very specific. I had an ex that had far too much time on his hands, and I was like, "Why are you always here?"
That's pretty annoying, to be fair. What ick do I have? maybe people being too particular about like food stuff.
Mm,
Like I have a couple of like intolerances, but like I don't know if a guy doesn't like to try new foods, if they say like they just
yeah.
only want to eat like chicken fingers and fries,
Yeah, that's a
like
nick. I agree with that.
I don't know if
Mhm.
that's just like a dislike or if that's an actual ick,
'Cause it's like,
but
you're a baby. Like, it's one thing if there are things that you like, "I've tried this and I don't like it, it's not for me." But, like, people who are en masse, like, "Oh, I don't eat that," or "I don't have spicy food," or just like,
oh my
"No."
god, I don't spicy food. That's a pretty big ick.
Yeah.
That's funny that you said that because I was listening to a friend of mine doing an Amazing Race recap, and his co-host doesn't like spicy food, and they both don't like mustard. And I'm like, it's not an ick, but that's a problem because I really like mustard and I really like spicy food. So I
I
was
thought
like,
about that a lot before. I
interesting.
dated a guy once who was like, "I don't eat any spice." I was like, "I'm African. Like, you could never come to my parents' house."
That's a big problem. Like I
Yeah,
love spice. I love flavor. Like,
exactly.
yeah. Chad, do you guys have any icks that we didn't talk about? I want to hear some of the icks. And I agree here, Danita. Y'all did seem to get cuter for
Yeah.
sure. So cute.
Yeah, being rude to waiters, that's another one.
Yeah, like yeah, no, that's not good. I don't know if it's an ick or just like a turn off, red flag, but
Mhm, absolutely.
I definitely have some icks I'm not thinking of right now. But some that are just like, ooh. So I definitely want to know who he's talking about though that gave him the ick. I
Do we
wonder
think
if
it's Corinna's daughter?
I wonder if it's her
Oh
because I
my
think this is
god,
not the person
I
he's
would
thinking of.
love that to be her.
So Torby and Georgia are having their first conversation now that they're in a new coupling, and she thinks that she could do better than Selly in the challenges. And the way that she like when she's talking and she just makes her eye contact and she's like, "Yeah, I think you're nice," and like she really like connects with them so that like they. I don't know. They see seen and like they feel vulnerable. Like she's
I
good.
don't know. Yeah, Georgia is a very particular type of
Flirt.
woman, and the kind of woman I hate.
Oh,
No disrespect to her, but like as a loud, like very talkative
mm,
person, I am always amazed when I meet girls like that who are just like very like quiet and coquettish, and it's more probably just more so envy because I'm like. I tried to be quiet. I can never do it.
me
So
too.
whenever they see them just doing this kind of like wistful, like looking into each person's eyes and like, I'm shy. It's like,
Oh
why
my
are
god,
you
it's so
doing this?
shy.
You're like, oh
No,
no, I smile and I'm shy. It's like, okay.
it's not me either. I think I'm looking at her as like a doll as
Mhm.
opposed to like a real person.
Exactly. But
I
I
am
think
correct.
that's kind of the point though, because that's how men look at her too. It's like, oh, I must take care of you, little baby.
Do you know what though? I think what it is that it's very, very feminine. And it's
Mm,
very like it's very easy for any sort of masculine man to be able to be like, ooh, I can take care of this feminine woman. Like I
yeah,
think
that's
she makes it
true.
easy for them to be masculine around her,
Yes.
And so maybe
The
that's
divine feminine energy.
yeah, she really exudes feminine. And
Yeah.
so typically feminine energy is soft, it's shy, it's a little bit, stand back, standoffish, and like, so I think that that's what guys really like. So I'm going to take a page out of her book and be like, I got to bring some divine feminine more into like my flirting.
Yeah, no, I tried. I can't do it. It's too late for me.
CJ here has a question for you, asking if you are West African or Ghanaian. I'm
Yes,
just curious because of the name. You don't have to answer if you're not comfortable.
both. Yes, I am Ghanaian.
Well, Nate called it. Good job, CJ. Amazing. Danita's ick is gold teeth grills. Ooh.
It depends.
It's kind of an ick, a slight ick.
Mm.
It's so funny that my brother, when he was like, I don't know, I don't even know if he might have still been in high school. He got a grill from our orthodontist. Like, how not grill is that?
What?
Like he wanted to have like a grill and so he got fitted for one by our orthodontist. Like how
I love that.
not
That
gangster
orthodontist,
is
that's the coolest they've ever felt in their life. They're just like, oh, I make grills, I do it all, braces, whatever. I got you. They probably put it on the website.
I don't think it's on the website, but I'm just like, my brother's trying to look all bad and like he's going to
I
an
love
ortho.
that. I went to my orthodontist and got hooked up. You don't know about Dr. Shacker. That was actually my orthodontist name.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't remember our orthodontist's name, but
Dr. Shacker, Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, mine's in North York, Young and Shepherd. It's actually funny, like for me, like I had a tongue ring back then, and so like whenever I get any sort of modeling done or whatever, and you'd see the X-rays, you'd see like my tongue ring in the X-ray, and I got my tongue ring right next to my orthodontist. Like it was they probably it was a perfect stop or perfect place for the ortho to put up their shop, because it's like all the chipped teeth that are coming through from the tongue rings and piercings. Anyways, a little bit about me. We also talked to Liberty and Callum, and they just talk about their social connection and their relationship, friendship. And what he was saying was kind of, it bothered me a little bit, because it just seemed as though he was pointing the finger at Liberty to be the weak link in their coupling. And so he was kind of being like, just make sure you don't get in a fight with like the women, because like the women are going to be the ones that like might have some of the power. And like, I don't want to have to take any heat for any fight that you get with the women. And I was just like, I mean, well, you're also not that likable, Callum.
Exactly. He's not that likable, but it also that had just come off the back of Curtis and Lisa getting kicked out. And I think that he probably was perceiving the fact that like Imani had the power and Imani and Lisa had just had a fight. So probably that. But I mean, if anyone out of the two of them is going to get them in trouble, it's Callum.
Absolutely. And I guess he's also thinking about the fact that she has whatever going on in the triangle with Jess, Johnny, and her. Yeah. And so he doesn't want that in case they get some power to influence it. So I get his fear, but I was just kind of like, take a step back, Callum. You're not the prize.
Yeah. I mean, she's trying to make it a triangle, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, it's just Johnny. It's just a dot. AL goes and says hello to Toby, and Toby says that he watched their season, and then Megan kind of comes to the picture, and AL kind of shoots it down and just was like, gave a little blasé explanation of what happened. It did intrigue me though, and wanted to know, like, there must be more to the story, because like, why is he not giving any details?
Well, I mean, I remember it being really explosive, and I'm sure he's probably just trying not to lean into that element of it, because he doesn't want to be perceived as caring too much about it. I mean, that's what I read from it, just with the context that I have of the previous season, but who knows? I feel like EL is just kind of one of those like whimsical, kind of esoteric guys who just like says things and like floats through space. So I never really know what he's doing.
It's true. But yeah, I'm always wondering, like, what's going on behind your eyes? Like, what are you actually thinking, Al? I want to know. I would want to date him. Out of everybody that's in there right now, I think I like him and Jack the most.
Oh yeah, like, Jack is my number one for sure.
Jack, yeah, he was a Capricorn, right? Is that what we deduced? Yeah. Okay, so he's more for you than for me. My moon's in Capricorn, so I get the Capricorn vibe, and so is my Mercury. So I would probably get along with him, but I think I'd vibe more with like AL.
Okay, like, what do I have? I think I have a Libra moon. Yeah.
Ooh, so you like relationships and balance? That's good.
Okay. Good to know. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna get you to do my whole chart. Find out who you should be dating.
Yeah, I'll definitely do your whole chart. Imani, before going to bed, is like putting on makeup, and everybody's asking her why, and she's like, she wants to make sure her lips look juicy. Of course they do. And Selly, we learned, thinks that AL is cute. So do we, Selly. So we get it.
Yeah. He's really cute. And I think that I see so much more excitement about him than maybe she had with Toby in the beginning. Or maybe I just fizzled, so I can't really remember.
Well, it's because Toby kind of immediately went in friend zone. Like he didn't stick it on her like he was doing in his original season. Like, I don't
Yeah.
fully remember how it started with the season, but like he was just like not serious, bouncing around from girl to girl. He was with Kaz, and then he like dropped Kaz to go with somebody else, and then dropped somebody else to go with Chloe, and then was with Chloe for a year and a half or so, or a year. And like, I don't know if maybe he's never had any game.
Yeah.
Because he never had a
to.
girlfriend at that time, right?
Yeah.
And so
That's true. That's true. He hadn't had a girlfriend. And I remember that from the very beginning was Kaz had to like teach him so much. And that was like part of their story was that she was always trying to explain to him how to behave and like, this is what you do. This is what you don't do. And then he did all the wrong things and ended up with Chloe. It was because Chloe was so much more of a dominant personality. It just always felt like she's like, okay, this is what we're doing, you know? And he didn't really have to think.
Well, and maybe he just doesn't know how to actually graft.
Yeah.
Because like
it seems like that. It seems like him and Sally are both expecting the same thing from the other person.
It's kind of in the guy's court, in my opinion, to
apply the pressure. Yeah.
To pursue a little bit, to show the interest, because usually if a girl throws himself at a guy, unless she's like a Megan type, like the guy gets the ick and is like I'm not interested, you know. So you're typically supposed to allow the man to pursue the woman, and so he's not showing any sort of interest, and I think that's a problem.
Yeah, like, he's too evolved for this show.
Is that what it is? He's too evolved?
I guess so. He's like, I'm a feminist. I'm expecting the women to come to me.
Maybe, okay. It's not going to work.
I'm probably giving him far too much credit.
I think that he just doesn't know what to do. And if his major experience in dating has come from Love Island, where he was hot property and like the girls were just throwing themselves at him, and then he got with one and he stuck with it for a year, like he hasn't had to pursue someone to get into a relationship as far as we know. And so he just might not know how to do it.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he came back. He's like, well,
I need to get a new girlfriend.
Last time. I need another one now.
He might just not know. So at nighttime here, the only people making out is Johnny and Jess. I'm like, Jess, get out of this man's bed, because you are not going to be able to deal with the mess that he's going to bring you into.
No. And they were really like, from the first night that they got together, the way that they were like clung to each other, like spooning, they were kissing, like it's always been in bed, super intimate with them from the jump. And we haven't even seen that from some of the couples that are much more established, like Jack and Justine. We don't see them in bed making out every single night. Like we might see them give a little snuggle, but like it felt like Jess is trying to use or both of them actually are trying to use that physical connection to like validate their connection. And we see that doesn't really work out for her.
Well, because it just makes her like the booty call. I don't know. He's not the boyfriend type, like and not at this age anyways, and like what he wants to do with his career. So in the morning, we see Toby making a coffee for Sally, and then he comes back and brings Georgia one as well. And then AL brings Sally a coffee, and Sally is more into AL's coffee because he used real coffee as opposed to instant. Why is this man Toby using instant coffee?
I don't know. I mean,
there's a choice. There's a choice.
It is a choice, because I'm sure it's probably harder to figure out how to use the real coffee machine.
Is it like a real coffee? Okay, I guess I'm too old sometimes to understand how inexperienced in like the real world that people are. But like chances are it's not even like they have to like, you know, get the grinds out and use the tamper and like put it in, and like, you know, it's probably not even that. It's probably like a pod. Like an espresso pod.
I hope it is. I hope it's a pod and he hasn't been able to figure it out. Like I truly hope.
It's not going to be the grinds, right? It's going to be an espresso or Keurig pod.
I really hope it's a pod. And then he chose to make instant instead of doing the simple thing. I believe that of him.
Oh, Toby, he's so cute. And sometimes I'm looking at AL's face and like I think he's a handsome man, but his body is like even better than it was before. It's like almost too perfect. I feel a little bit uncomfortable looking at his body because it's just so like perfect.
Do you think he's had body sculpting done? I mean, it's
Oh.
very popular in LA.
Oh.
Right?
It's very like perfect and smooth and perfectly tan. Like it's almost too hot.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a little bit. It was much. I was taken aback.
It's definitely giving Ken doll. Like he was built in a lab.
Yeah, he could have had body sculpting done. It didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought about that before, but a friend of mine who was like really into like plastic surgery and all these different kinds of procedures, whenever I'm watching a show and I'm like envious of someone, she's like, oh no, she's had this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have no idea. Will you get them to check this person's body out and see if he...
You know what? I'm going to do that for the next episode.
Please.
Get her to do a read. Maybe we can get her to guest. Be like, well, and these are all the things that each of them have had done.
Well, like obviously Sally's had her lips done.
Hey, has she had her lips done? I mean, they look like
she was doing them before when she was on Love Island, right?
They've always looked like that for as long as she's been unarmed.
Now she might, like maybe before she was having, now she's having filler. Maybe before she was having a plumper. There's different stuff, right?
Yeah, and then I think she definitely overlines them as well because it's like her lip starts like here. No, she's definitely had them done because I have big lips, and every time I see her on the screen, I'm like, how do you make them do that?
Well, the reason why we know that there's filler in there is that there's no wrinkles on the lips, right? That's what somebody told me. So it's just like a tube.
With her.
Oh my God. Like two little baby sausages, right?
I don't think maybe I should get some filler.
I mean, I think like our natural lips they look better personally.
Yeah.
I get the look that she's going for, so get it, girl. But
exactly, she looks great. She does.
But yeah, it's definitely filler and overlined. So she said, now obviously we know that Megan's had a bunch of procedures. I'm assuming now AL has. Anybody else?
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but
no. I mean, I feel like maybe Johnny's had some body sculpting done. I don't trust those abs. And maybe Jack also.
Jack? I don't feel like Jack is a type, but maybe.
There's just something about the like curve of his muscles on his chest that I'm just like, you pay for those.
Okay. Well, okay. So can you place Jack's pecs over to your friends for an analysis?
Okay, I will.
Thank you. So AL leaves. Wait, Johnny and Georgia. So fat. What am I talking about? So fat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess, okay, so AL and Georgia were talking, and then I think Johnny shows up, or like, no,
yes, when they're laying on the beds.
Yeah, outside, and then he leaves. And why did put
he gets up so awkwardly, and she's like, where are you going? He's like, just away.
I guess I didn't write any more about that, and I thought I'd remember, but I didn't.
Yeah, well, that was Johnny and Georgia's first conversation, you know, and like, you could tell.
Oh,
like,
maybe it's fit. So fit.
Yeah. Yeah, because Johnny is exactly her type. Like, I'm not like
to a T.
Absolutely.
Except, I mean, aesthetically, like when we look at him, 100% to your type. Mm-hmm. But the more that it becomes his Johnny in his villain era, like the more he's just so unattractive to me, and I'm just like. It's just so transparent what he's doing, I would think. And I'm wondering if he'll meet his match with some of these UK girls. Because
I wonder. I don't think that he's cheeky enough for Georgia, but I definitely see the attraction between them. But I see that they're both really attracted to each other, but I don't feel that same chemistry, that buzz that we saw between her and Toby. So I'm interested to see what happens with her and Johnny.
And I think with Georgia's an Aries? Probably.
Let's find out.
She's a little firecracker. I think she's an Aries. He's a Gemini. Toby's a Pisces. So Pisces and Aries, not great.
Not the best.
So AL doesn't feel like Toby's going to be an issue between him and Sally. I'm like, I mean, you're right, and you're a Leo with that Leo confidence. That ego is inflated, and he's hot, so deservingly.
And to be honest, though, he's not wrong, right? Like the second that he came in, he started applying pressure, and Toby just started retreating.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Toby comes across as a little boy, and AL's coming across as a man at this point.
Yeah,
hot man. So Toby, though, is now thinking that it's one thing after another with her and him and Justine. Like, first it's her ex-boyfriend, and now it's like having, you know, this new twist that EL is her partner now. And I'm like, okay, that's two things.
I know. I was like, there's not that many things.
And like, you know what show you're on.
Yeah.
Like, you know that you're supposed to start working a little bit harder if you want to keep the girl. Like,
yeah.
What's the problem, Toby?
And as much as her ex came in, it was he dueled for someone else. They had one explosive conversation, and she basically has ignored that man every day since. So how did it really impact you?
Maybe he feels a little bit inferior to Johnny because Johnny is a little bit bigger, a little bit more like...
he's got a big ego, the way that he walks around that villa, like he's like, you know, everyone God's gift.
He thinks he is anyways.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Maybe Toby's feeling a little bit inferior that like that's the ex that he has to kind of compete with, even though she doesn't think so.
Yeah.
He's feeling the heat.
Yeah, he's in his own head. I think that is ultimately their issue, is that he is in his own head, getting in his own way. He wants her to pursue him because he's too afraid and like doesn't believe in his own sauce.
And Sidani here saying that Sally needs a man that applies pressure, and Toby just isn't that. Like,
exactly.
I mean, most women like the guy if they're interested in them to apply pressure.
Absolutely.
Like, it's really hot. Like, if you're like, okay, I know you like me.
Otherwise, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Absolutely. Well, if I don't know you like me, then it's like, what am I gonna be like? Just like sitting here waiting for you to do something? No, I'm gonna be bored and I'm gonna move on. And like Sally's also someone that's like that gets bored really easily. She likes fast moving energy and like buzzing around. Like she doesn't stop talking. Like she's always giggling. Like she likes energy. And so Toby doesn't really give her that much energy.
Yeah.
Pisces just a little bit too dreamy for her. A little bit. So Sally is open to AL. And like she's talking to Toby in this conversation, and they both think that each other is not interested in each other anymore. And I'm like, I kind of blame Toby here.
Yeah, I do, because nothing has really changed from her perspective. But you could also see that from the first conversation she had with EL, she's already had this issue with Toby, and now she was hoping that EL coming in, he's going to apply pressure, he's going to fight, like, you know, like how it always happens on these shows when you're with someone and someone comes in and tries to steal your bird, then the guy has to come and kind of show like, no, I'm here for you, and he really didn't do that. So yeah,
it's like you're like, a new guy came in and he's from the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't do anything about it.
And because he had Georgia as well. If he didn't have Georgia to save him and he was just there on his own, I think the energy might have been different.
Wait, that happened to him on his season, right? I remember, I think, wasn't he alone for a second? And it was like a big joke, like he deserved it. And then like he did end up getting back together with Chloe.
Oh yes, was that after Casa? Mm-hmm.
After Casa with another, I can't remember the two girls. There's a blonde girl and a brunette. Okay, it's just I remember their names foggy.
Now. So many
foggy.
People
it might have been another Georgia and an Anna, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, like I just like if he was egg in the face and like standing there by himself now, I think that he would put a little bit more pressure on the situation. But he can take his foot off the gas because he has a partner still. So
yeah.
So Toby does go and find Sally in the dressing room, and they're chatting, and he says, like, if you dare get power couple with AL. I thought that was really funny.
That was cute.
I can see it being possible as well, though, because AL is just bigger ego.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll walk out. He will walk out of the game.
Like, well, I believe that you've already, given up on your connection, so...
It sucks though, because like it just seems like really immature.
Mm.
And I guess Ayala, even though I think of him as super young, he's a lot older than Toby is. So
Yeah.
she's questioning if he likes her, and he's not, like, neither of them are reassuring the other one. I think Sally's not reassuring him because she doesn't know I think she likes off the bat Ayala more.
Yeah.
And I think that he does like Sally a lot, but he's worried that he's going to get hurt because he
Mhm.
can see that she likes Ayala a little bit more.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
he's just holding back. I said, oh God, Johnny and Jess with their pressure points and then kissing. I was just like,
Oh my God. Okay, she's faking it. She's faking it. Why are you lying to that man? Why is she doing that?
I don't think she is.
Like,
Like,
oh, my skull. Shut up.
it's giving like
It's too desperate.
it's so desperate. It's giving desperate. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it's giving.
And you can tell that that's her tactic. Like, she uses her sexuality and her femininity in that way, and she feels that if a man is sexually attracted to her, then that means that they like her, right? Yeah. And I think that's obviously why we see later that she gets so upset, because she's like, I'm giving you all the things. What else do you want from me?
Oh God, but I was so grossed out by because he makes it so like intense, and it's just like it seems calculated to me.
No, 100% calculated. I think he hates her. I don't think he likes her.
I don't think he likes her at all.
I don't think he likes her at all. I think he's enjoying the attention and the affection. I don't think he takes her seriously. I don't think he listens when she speaks. I think he's just there. Oh yeah,
agreed.
Exactly.
Danita, she is a pick me through and through. Oh my gosh. Oh, so bad. So Liberty tells Callum that her door is still slightly open for Johnny. And I'm like, Liberty, close that door, lock it, bar it up,
oh my God.
Like, it's just, he's not it.
No.
Whatever you think that you have with him is not anything.
100%. He said, I don't, because maybe he wasn't clear enough when he was breaking it down for her after he chose Jess, because I think he made it more about communication in the games instead of just straight up saying, I'm not that attracted to you. Because he said to the boys the next day, like, we're just not hitting like that. He didn't say that to her. Because I think that if he had said that to her, she wouldn't be sitting here thinking that the door is still open. I was like, Liberty, please don't put yourself in a position to let this man tell you he doesn't want you twice.
Oh my God. Steve Harvey said it best. Steve Harvey said it best. Don't let a man tell me that he doesn't want you twice.
Exactly.
And it's true, though. That's an ick. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's just so sweet. And she's just like, oh, there's something there. No, honey, there's nothing there. He's a hoe.
So Danny says Johnny has chemistry with everyone, and men like that are dangerous. Yes. I know the type of guy where it's just like, well, we can't have this sexual attraction with everyone because it's so visceral to you that you just don't think it's possible that he could be feeling what you're feeling with other people. But like, that's what their gift and tactic is to like give that off. And so that you think, like, you just get entrapped by this like
energy vampires.
Yeah, sexual energy vampires. It's just, don't trust it. Don't trust it. Run. It's a red flag.
And especially, it's been 2 or 3 days with him and Jess. Like, what, he hasn't done enough to prove to you that this is real.
Well, and another thing, like, I don't know, many therapists or psychologists have said this, is that sometimes this like attraction and sexual energy, like, you think it means that like it's meant to be, and that this spark is something that you're supposed to go towards, but they say that spark might be a familiarity for a red flag of toxicity. And so I think that yes, there's a sexual attraction because yes, this might be her type, but it might be the red flag of like a person that you're not going to want to be in a relationship with. And so, yeah.
I mean, we see it already. It's already.
Yeah, we can see it. But like, she can't, and she thinks that this spark means that like they're meant to be, but it's like, no, you're meant not to be at all. Meant not to be. Where am I? So Georgia and Toby are talking, and she has his back, and then he jokes with her like, but are you loyal? And so she hates the fact that this was her catchphrase. What's wrong with her? It's fine. Relax,
No,
Georgia.
I
Get a
can
t-shirt.
understand why she hates it, because the way that she was saying loyal was like, it was too defensive. And she said it so many times. It's like the lady doth protest too much. Like, and so people are now using it like pejoratively to be like, oh yeah, you're loyal. And so she hates it for that, because she knows that we're all mocking her.
But like, she should have really just gotten a t-shirt printed and sell it to one
Exactly.
of her
Capitalize on it. You have to lean into it. But I think
lead
that
into it.
Yeah, she's too sensitive about it to.
I don't know. You don't watch the challenge, right? Oh no, you do.
Yeah.
So like, was it this season? It was last season where Michelle Fitzgerald was like, they were calling her. Oh my god, I forget right now. But like, anyways, Rob Cesternino was like, you got to get t-shirts printed. Oh my god, she has like a new name of her being Messy Michelle, but it was like,
oh, what was that?
It just totally just flew from my head.
She was messy though, and she's the worst game player.
Oh, she's so bad. Oh my god, I need to know now what I damn thought that her thing was. It was so good though. I was like, oh my god, like Michelle Messy Michelle. Damn it. Oh, Michelle Down. Yes. Thank you, Sonny.
Oh yeah, there
Michelle
we go.
Down. So good. I was very impressed by, just like a little play on words there. So I'm like, Michelle, you need to get some t-shirts printed and capitalize on that nickname. So same with I'm loyal. I'd buy a shirt that says I'm loyal.
Yeah, or even like hashtag loyal babes, very
exactly
cute.
Loyal babes. So Georgia gets a text, and they're going to be playing Smooch, Marry, Pie. Now, how do you feel about it being calling Smooch, Marry, Pie?
Hate it. Like, why are we pandering to the Americans? You can explain to them what a snog is.
Well, and if you're going to still use pie, like, why wouldn't you use snog?
Exactly. Or just do what they do in the US version, which is just kiss, marry, pie.
Yeah, why did they change it to smooch?
I don't know. I mean, it should have been lips, marry, pie, honestly.
I still like snog. It just like it's always been snog.
Yeah, I like snog.
I like the original of everything. So they're gonna be playing Smooch, Marry, Pie. Everybody's getting ready for the game, and this game delivered. I wrote down all the people's what they did, but we'll try to blow through it kind of quickly. So Megan's up first. And Justine and Jack are the hosts because she feels sick right now. Hopefully she's okay. So Megan, she smooches Callum. She marries Kira, of course, and she pies Al. So that was pretty typical. Like,
it's pretty typical, but I was surprised that she smooched Callum, especially at this stage when you know that he's still like fiending for you and like thinks.
Who else would she kiss though?
Like, even though she's with Kira at this point, Callum is delusional. And if you give him any bit of attention, he will think that there's still a chance.
But I think that's also Megan's MO, is to have every guy wanting her.
Yeah.
So I think she just wanted to keep that door open for him and close it on her end,
Yeah, I guess
because who else would she have kissed?
Well, I mean, we know who she wants to kiss afterwards.
Well, she should have not have pied him then.
Absolutely.
Imani smooches Al, which I was like, okay.
I like that. I was surprised by it, but I liked it.
It was pretty, like Ray was feeling a type of way about that kiss. But then she marries him, and she said that she feels butterflies whenever she's around him. And then she pies Callum. Just because she's like besties with Liberty.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I expected Callum to be getting a lot of pies in that challenge.
Georgia smooches Toby, of course. She marries Johnny. He made her feel so comfortable. I'm like, Georgia, run. And pies Callum. Why'd you pie Callum though? I don't remember.
I don't know why she pied Callum. I think that she just went with someone who it felt like wouldn't get annoyed.
That's true. Like, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Exactly. He's already been pied twice. Like, he's the Joker of the villa. Because I honestly can't remember her reasons.
Me neither. Kira swerves Callum. It was awkward. Totally awkward. So she smooches Megan. She has great vibes with Kira, she marries Selly.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh wow, she pies Johnny. And I think that's the standout for Selly and them and Justine. And like she was
because her and
around with their
Justine are
fallout.
besties outside of the show, and I think it was smart for her to marry Selly as well, because we have learned that Justine and Selly's like relationship breakdown, Kira was kind of implicated in it because it started around her birthday trip. So I think it was kind of mending fences there.
That's makes sense. I watched a little bit of them talking about their relationship after, and I just have to say what was hilarious because when we were talking about it, I was like, "Oh, Gemini Pisces not gonna be able to communicate," and she said that, and Sally said that in her thing. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like 100%. That's hilarious that she also picked up on the fact that they don't communicate and understand things in the same way because they're different in sun signs.
Yeah.
So Jess wants to mark her territory. What a big eye roll. And so she kisses Johnny. She has great vibes with Al. So she kisses Al. I was like, okay. Oh, no, she marries Al.
Mhm.
And then she pies Liberty. That woman.
I mean, she started something. She wrote a check that her ass couldn't cash, is what happened there. Because if you have already squashed it, you saved Liberty because you were patronizing her and saying you wish that you could find something. Why are you pieing her?
I think just to like show off in front of Johnny.
No, well, we see how karma works.
Susanna was asking if we heard when Kira came in, she was considering coupling with Sally. I did hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Sally even talked about it to Toby. I did hear that. I don't know if I heard it on like after the island or what, but I did hear that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Though.
Interesting.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty incestuous with the friend group. You can't run through the crew.
No. And like, I could be wrong, but I don't see Sally as like bi flexible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really see her like, but maybe I'm wrong. But
yeah, I don't think Kira would be her type. I mean, I'm making a lot of assumptions, but I don't see it between the two of them
at all. I mean, I think it's also because I find Kira to be so boring.
Okay, when you said that when we did this last week, I was like, I don't really see it. Every episode that goes on, I'm like, she is so boring. She really is.
She's just pretty and less like she doesn't even good facial reactions. It's just so like boring.
Yeah.
Told ya. And I think, well, that's what Megan's probably feeling is that she's boring. Dania says Kira pieing Johnny was the most exciting thing she's done. She's so boring. Beautiful girl, though. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
She came out and they flirted in the past. Oh, Sally's bi? Okay.
Okay.
I don't see them together, though. She's so boring. Sorry. Sally just likes fun people, and I just don't find
I don't think that they would be a good match. She needs more energy, more passion, more energy.
She needs a fire sign or another air sign. Not these water signs. Not for Sally. Sally swerves Toby. I'm like, girl, like you're being messy. And kisses Al. She does then try to fix it by marrying Toby. And then she friend zoned her friend, and so she pies Callum. I was shocked that she swerved Toby. That was pretty cold.
Yeah.
Liberty has unfinished business with Johnny, so she kisses him. I'm like, Liberty, just get away from
Liberty, the business has been finished. There is no business.
No business. Business is closed.
Exactly.
She marries.
You're trying to insert yourself.
Yeah, just get out. Get out. She marries Callum, and she's like, I'm no walkover, and just pushes a pie in Jess's face and walks away.
Honestly, it was the most satisfying pieing ever and also Toby's reactions, everything she says, he's in the back like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like,
and Jack too, like doing like the replay. Like,
exactly.
It's like
because she needed to say it, and I'm glad she did it, and I'm glad she didn't stutter at all. Mm-hmm. She was like, these are the points.
Yeah, like she didn't come across as like, I'm saying something I don't want to say. Like she was pretty strong and assured.
No, and I was so proud of her in that moment. I was like, Liberty, you have such a kind heart, but you needed to stand up for yourself in this moment, and I'm glad she did.
Yeah, like imagine her being all covered in like pie, like whipped cream, and like Jess still having like a perfect face. Like
no, exactly. And just the way she did it, pop, ooh, and the walk away.
Go Liberty. So then the boys' turn. Callum marries Megan, or sorry, smooches Megan. And it was also, she did not want to be smooched by him. He picks her up and she was like,
oh no, that was so awkward because he was not smooth with it at all. And then because she was standing next to Kira, you could see her like, what are you trying to do?
He marries Sully and he pies Kira. I was like, that's also really rude. Like for him to pie. I mean, I know she did to him first, so she pied Johnny.
Johnny, exactly. I mean, but I think that was his ego. It's like, you stole my bird off me. Like,
yeah. Ray smooches Sully for a little bit too long for Imani's liking.
Well, so I think that was 100% because Imani smooched DL. And so he's like, okay, so for doing this.
I'll get you with this. But then he marries Imani and all is well. And he pies Toby, said that he was, what did he say? Corny. He's corny.
I didn't. At first, I wasn't sure where it came from, and I realized, it's like a little like inside joke thing.
Yeah,
which makes it even more cute to me.
Well, it's just like that banter that I like, and Toby's kind of bringing him into like lads humor over in the UK. It seems. Ayal says that this person dresses well and is really cute, and smooches Sully. Said that this person has a good heart and marries Imani, and then he pies back Megan. I was like, man,
he had to. You pied me. He had to.
Of course, I condone 100%. So Toby then smooches Georgia. We expected that. Marries Sully. Expected that. Pies back Ray. Of course. And then Johnny, the messy man himself, he smooches Georgia. So for a long time. And Jess is fuming.
But
then he marries Jess and she doesn't even know if she wants to take the ring. Like, you don't.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, Jess, but this is your karma.
It is her karma. And then the rude ass man decides to go and pie Sully, who hadn't received a pie yet, so like messing up her makeup. And she's like, I'd be mad if I'd lost me too. And he just like puts the damn pie in her face. It's so rude.
Ooh.
So rude. And that was the end of the episode. So episode 8 comes along and it's the aftermath of Smooch Mary Pie, and the boys are chatting. And so now Johnny's really upset because she released a diss track, apparently, about their relationship.
I missed that. I didn't know about that. But, I mean, I guess then it makes sense that he wanted to pie her. He's like, I didn't say anything about the diss track, but now that I'm here. And, in their first conversation, he really didn't get an opportunity to talk. It was more so her getting things off her chest. So he's like, okay, let's just do this and be done with it. So,
but like he said that they're fine, they're friends or whatever. So then to pie her after is just like him being a douche.
To go back on it, yeah.
So down here saying that in Sully and Justine's recap, they said that Imani and Yal's kiss was longer than shown, so that's probably why Ray and Sully's kiss was so long.
Okay.
So I also heard the song. It was good. He should have paid them for them nachos.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, I released it. He went live yesterday, and so like really late, and so he talks about the nachos, and he talks about the fact like I can afford nachos.
Did you pay for them?
He's like, it's so stupid to think that two people that loved each other would break up over nachos, over paying for nachos. And it's like, well, it must have been on top of a whole bunch of other things.
Exactly.
It's not about the nachos, sir. It's about
men are so literal. It's like, it's obviously not the nachos. It's like the nacho is a symbol for your disrespect.
Yeah, absolutely. For your like just completely not being a chivalrous man.
Mhm.
Like she should not have paid for that trip to Hawaii.
Absolutely not.
No way. No way. Janina says Johnny is still hurt. She's an artist. A diss track about her ex is most likely to happen. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I saw when I looked up AL yesterday or the day before that he's a musician in LA.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I haven't heard him singing or anything, but do you think that this might come into play? Do you think that one of the challenges will be a talent show and like the couples do something together? Like that could be fun.
You know what? I would love to see that. And that would be really great. Because, yeah, or who knows, even in the future, if they're still together after the show, if they're both in LA, you know, next thing you know,
like,
it's
are
going to
we
be
planning
the Love Island couple touring around.
Right? Love Island musical tour.
Yeah.
Like Love Island
featuring Jack
concert.
as their producer.
Well, yeah, he's the DJ, right?
Yeah.
But he also did something sporty, like when he did football.
Yeah, I think he was a semi-pro footballer before the show, but since the show, he's just been DJing and like producing music.
Okay, I feel like an act is building itself, right?
Exactly.
And then so in the talent show, then what Justine and Jack, like maybe they would do something athletic, because like what they're doing like a whole little race thing, so maybe they could do some sort of like not cheer, but like showing athletic strength type vibes. So maybe it's like poses and lifting her, or I don't know. I hope they have a talent show now.
The talent show is always my favorite.
It's so good. Remember what's her name with the recorder? Oh my god, I died.
Yes, India.
Recorder. So funny. And so but Johnny like is like, oh, stop getting your feelings hurt, and like it's like, okay, wait, your feelings must be hurt in order for you to be pieing the girl. And I thought you guys had squashed it, but now you're saying that her feelings are hurt. It's just like it's not lining up. It's lining up that you feel like she got an upper hand, and so you need to go in there and make sure that you had the upper hand at the end of this.
Exactly. And even just the energy that he had in that conversation, he was so worked up. He was so like defensive. It's like, you're clearly pressed.
Clearly. So Kira says that Callum hates her guts. And I don't think he hates her guts, but hates the fact that he got the girl that he wanted to crack on with. But of course, who's fuming?
Jess.
Yeah, Jess. Jess is, I'm fuming. I need to get her accent. I can't do her accent, but I'm fuming. She's so strong.
She's like, so Australian, like the most Australian person I've ever seen on television. It's actually wild.
Fuming. I can do a British accent. I can't really do Aussie very well. But yeah, she's fuming. And she does say though, like to Liberty, somebody says that this is a conversation between her and Johnny.
Georgia says that to her. She's like, yeah, it's a conversation that you and Johnny need to have with each other.
Because I guess Jessica thinks that he should have given her a heads up that he was going to.
When was this going to happen?
Georgia?
I think what she's thinking is, we have been intimate in bed. We've been like, doing whatever that weird neck pressure point stuff all day, like having our stupid dumb Jeep chats. And I think that she thought that the fact that he had not yet spoken to anyone else in the time that they've been doing that, she just read into it that like, oh, we're together because he hasn't said anything else. But it's only been like, what, 24 hours? When was he going to tell you? Like, Georgia came in that morning. He had one conversation with her. There was no opportunity.
It's quite unreasonable. And like, Georgia's just like, I don't know you, babe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to tell you anything. You can talk to Johnny.
She had been there for less than a day at that point. Like, I don't know. Nobody owes Jess anything.
And also, like, when a new person comes in, usually every single guy talks to that person, especially even if they're in a couple, they'd be like, okay, yeah, like I'm not really open, but like if you want to know like what's going on with other people, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll do stuff like that, but like they tend to talk to every single person in the villa.
Yeah, exactly.
So Megan is never kissing Callum again, which is
probably hilarious. For the best. Why did she kiss him in the challenge in the first place?
She just wants him to like her. So Selly and Ayal are chatting and asks what's going on with you and Megan. And he basically, like, I like the way he handles it because he's like, nothing's really going on between us. Like, it's pretty much, from his perspective, it looks like it's done, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
Yeah.
anyways. I was like, seems done to me. And they want to be power couple. I want them to be power couple.
I would love that for them.
And especially when she's like, oh my God, Demon's power. I'm like, she would just be so funny. But he shows that he likes her, which is what we've already mentioned. She picks it up. Like, even watching him, they don't know each other that well. He has his hand on her knees, giving her just little mini, like, strokes on her knees, like, cuddling close to her, body language facing her, sending energy towards her, you know, looking at her when he speaks to her. Very small things that Toby doesn't do at all. And so it shows that he likes her, and they have a kiss. And I rewound that kiss because it was a good kiss.
It was a good kiss. They do have chemistry. They do way more chemistry than her and Toby.
Toby and her, to me, seems a little juvenile, kind of like a 13-year-olds having their first little kiss. And this seems a little bit more like a mature relationship.
Yeah.
So Sudani loved the physical cues of intimacy. That's what is missing with Selly and Toby. Ayal gets it. Yeah, he knows how to be a man that gets the girl. Georgie and Toby talk about their kiss that they first had, and they banged teeth. That could be a turnoff. Or Nick.
Yeah, it can be. And I mean, I get if you're nervous and like you just haven't figured out. Sometimes it takes a while to figure out like the rhythm with somebody. But did they need to be having that conversation with the disgusting pie in his hair? Is what I want.
Why did the producers not let them clean up after?
Right?
Like,
because it seems like they let the girls like clean up a bit more.
A little bit.
The girls, their makeup looked like it had been refreshed. Why were the guys sitting there with like pie all over their face?
I'm thinking it's so that they could do their confessionals and not look too different.
Yeah, I guess so. But I
so
bet
they can
stank.
Put it in proper order, but like it just looks so dumb that like all these like bombshells are just like with like whipped cream like sticking to their hair.
Like, the whole time they were having that conversation of their soul ties, I was just looking at his hair like, let him wash his hair.
I know. And so, yeah, they kind of talk about like wanting to get to know each other better, and like she's doing her whole coquette thing. Like, I'm shy, you know, she's getting shy, and they do kiss. It was an okay kiss. Sweet. It was a sweet kiss.
It was good. It was better than I guess I guess it was better than when they knocked teeth. So
yeah, a little bit better. But I don't think that she's excited by this coupling. So Jess goes to Johnny to talk to him, and this is another thing. She does not know how to handle this man. Like, she goes to him like, I'm just fucking embarrassed. And I'm like, don't tell him that you're embarrassed. He's going to do even more. Like, you need to don't give a fuck with Johnny more than he's not giving a fuck with you. Like, she is just giving him all the power, and then he gets to turn around and be like, you know, well, I just thought the proposal was the best one, and then like starts flirting with her.
He was yelling at him, like you could see his body language and the way I was watching his face. He was not listening to her. He was just like, let me just wait till she's done so I can just say some shit and get out of here. Like, he did not care at all, and she was fuming.
She was fuming. And, you know, she's like, he says, like, I thought the proposal was the best for the person I spend them. He said, first he said, I like the most or something. And then he changed it to spend the most time with. And I was like, see, he caught himself because he doesn't want her to come back and say that he said that he liked her the most, right?
Exactly.
He'll always can be like, oh no, I said that like who I spent the most time with doesn't mean that I liked you the most.
Yeah.
Or, like they wanted to be with you the most. And so I was like, slick. He's very flat out says, I want to get to know Georgia. And she's just like taking it.
Yeah.
And then when he said, come here, I'm like, this manipulative man. And she's like, no. And like half smiling. And I'm like, oh my God.
That was the beginning of the end for her. was because if she had stood 10 toes down on what she said, like there would be, I think maybe he would have moved a bit differently. But she said she was fuming. She gave in immediately. And then we see her like not 10 minutes later in bed with him already giggling. Like,
well, and then like how she ends it up, he's like, come here. And she's like, no. And then he's like, well, if you ever do that again, like it's over. And he's like,
okay.
Empty threats. Empty threats.
Like, I already don't listen to anything you're saying, so whatever.
Susanny says, if a man like Johnny came to me, I'm sprinting like Usain Bolt.
Absolutely. Can't trust him.
I mean, if I just want to I just don't catch feeling for a man like this. Like, he's a hot guy, like maybe some sexy makeouts, whatever. That's all he's really good for. He's not good for anything.
Exactly. And we see that he has been good for that.
Not even nachos. He's not even good for him to take you out for nachos.
Not even Cheesecake Factory. That's disrespectful. Because can you imagine now every time you go to Cheesecake Factory, you're pissed because it just reminds you of that one time you're like, you can't even enjoy it. You can't even enjoy the Cheesecake Factory. He's ruined the Cheesecake Factory.
I'm happy I don't like. Was that where the nachos were from?
Yeah. Yes.
So $20 nachos, he couldn't front the bill.
Exactly.
Even if he could afford it, he chose not to pay for them.
No, if a man ruined my favorite chain restaurant like that for me, you're done forever. Honestly.
That's just, oh my god, he's such a waste man. Megan and Yael have another chat, and he mentions that Kira seems to be set on her. She seems to have gotten the ick from Kira because like she's kind of like, yeah.
It seems like what's happened is that Kira is really focused on her. She's very serious, and I think that has caused Megan to like freak out and pull away. Because she was super interested in her, an episode ago, 2 days ago, when they just met and it seemed like it was fun and flirty. And I think now that she's realized like, oh, you want something like real, like Megan's running.
Yeah. And I feel like it's with Megan's aesthetic, it would be obvious to me that she wouldn't be in this environment looking for something super serious. It just that's not the vibe that she was giving off from my perspective. Mm-hmm. And so I'm surprised that Kira is not seeing the cues that like, she's here for a good time. And yes, she wants to be coupled with me, but
yeah.
What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, but like, I think also the thing that could be going through Kira's mind is that, this is pretty significant because we haven't had very many like same-sex couples on Love Island history ever. So
it's been her actually with the other girl. I forget her name right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And then last season there was like that brief moment with Johnny and Cassie, and that was it. And right. So it's a big statement to say, I'm coupling up with you and I'm here for you 100%. Like, and so I'm sure she's probably interpreting that as, okay, like we're like in this together.
Right. We're doing something groundbreaking. Let's like really explore this and see if it can actually work. Yeah, I can understand that. I guess because I know Megan more than she probably knows Megan. Exactly. Like I would just be like
Megan's a hoe.
She loves the attention. She loves different flavors.
With peace and love. She's a hoe.
Jenna says, I don't blame Megan for not wanting to get serious with Kira, but I thought it was weird to try and kiss Yael right after the game. Haven't seen how turned off she got with the Callum kiss. Haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she doesn't want something serious, and she was jealous when other people were kissing.
I think that's what it was. I think that it was, she saw that Yael and Imani's kiss was long and delicious, and
she's used to getting all the kisses.
Exactly. And then he had his kiss with Sally, and she's like, hold on.
Like, oh, what? Because I'm with Kira now. No guy wants to kiss me.
Yeah.
What? Except for Callum?
You know what, though? That's probably part of the reason why she's pulling away, because she was expecting that she could do what she was doing with Steph, which was, I'm still flirting and kissing you and flirting and kissing Callum. But I think that everyone around them is perceiving their relationship as more serious than she wants it to be.
Yeah. She doesn't want to be off limits to the attention that she gets from the other men or potentially women.
Yeah.
And with Kira like lurking on, not that they're afraid of her, but like they don't want to disrupt this. I think they just don't understand how to handle a same-sex relationship.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I mean, Callum said it. He's like, I have no idea how to do this. I've never gone for a girl against another girl. And I think that none of them know how to do it. They're just like, I guess.
Okay, I'm just gonna step back. I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah.
So she wants him to kiss her. And I'm so happy that he didn't do it. I'm so happy.
I was very proud of him because the old Yal would have done it. And it's smart. You had just kissed Sally. You're telling her that you're like interested in her and like you're being affectionate with her. That would be fucked up if you went and then immediately turned around and then kissed Megan. And the fact that Megan didn't even think about that when all the girls are supposed to be close, like I know it's just a bit of banter, but this is what she does. I don't know.
She doesn't care. She loves the attention from everybody. It's like that's why she is like the bombshell of all bombshells, because she just goes in, takes what she wants, spits them out, and walks away.
But I think that now that everyone has seen this from her, I think they're all going to be looking at her differently, because in the dumping where Steph left, I think they took her attention to Callum as maybe she's interested in Callum, but now they're going to be like, oh, okay, you're just playing games. And I don't know if that's going to work in her favor.
Oh my God, is Megan going to get dumped? But Ayala has closed that door, locked it, and threw away the key. And now she's like opening that door a little bit again. So his head's a little bit scrambled. So finally, they wash the damn pie off. And they're all getting ready for bed. So Danny says Megan's not a girl's girl, LOL. I also love that the POC women are the most sought after this season.
Yes, absolutely. But we need more Justine and Jack screen time, because what is happening here?
I think we'll get it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. From with what's kind of going on here. All right, so your ex sucks, Jess says to Sally. It's like, she knows that. That's why it's her ex.
That was crazy to me. Like, why are you saying that to her? Like, like, what, you think you're going to commiserate about Johnny in the dressing room now? Like, you've known him for 2 days. They were in a relationship. They went to Hawaii. They have history. Like, you're not on the same level. And I felt that was so tone deaf and very much like Jess. She's so selfish and very like myopic with her victim mentality. Like, why would you bring that up to her?
I think she thinks that she's on par with Sally.
And that's crazy to me.
And she clearly hasn't watched their season, and like he did not treat Sally the way that he's treating Jess.
Exactly. Never. Absolutely. Never.
Even when he did all that Mercedes bullshit. Exactly. We saw a little hint of it, but not at all.
And that's the thing, is like that was the only hint of what we're getting from him in this season that we saw in his original season.
So Sally likes Ayal. We see her and Toby then having a little bit of a chat. And then immediately Sally is in bed cuddling with Ayal. Like, the closeness was so quick. And I mean, it seemed fine and natural, but it wasn't there with Toby.
No. Did we see her and Toby snuggle in bed? I don't think we did.
No.
Yeah.
So I remember. So in the nighttime, night cam, we see Toby and Georgia giggling. And in the morning, I went, whoa, Johnny is bringing Jess a coffee?
He's really good at playing a role. So and you know what, though? I think that with all of the other guys who are doing it so religiously, I don't think we've seen him do that before. I feel like he needs to keep up, because the UK guys have been bringing their girls coffee, snacks, everything since the very beginning. And this is the first time we're seeing Johnny do that at all.
I think even in his season, I don't think he ever did it.
Exactly.
Ayala pulls Jack for a little chat and tells him that Megan tried to kiss him and he didn't want to disrespect Sally. And I love Jack getting the tea.
His little reaction. He was like, this is very big news.
He's so good. He's so great, like, narrator, and like he's just a positive energy in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny pulls Georgia for a chat, and so she's on playing the whole coquette shy. When I'm nervous, I laugh and giggle.
I'm gonna start a drinking game, because the next time she says I'm shy, I'm taking a shot.
But she does love that Johnny doesn't want to pull back on pursuing her. She's like, well, I really like that. I was like, she's getting herself into mess. Do you think that she can handle Johnny?
I do think that she can, actually, because I've seen her. Like, we saw her after Casa on her season when Josh came back with someone else. And I wouldn't have thought that she had the backbone that she did. But she's playing this little shy coquette right now. But I wouldn't mess with her. So I
she's
think
an
that,
Aries.
I think that it could be a match made in heaven.
She'll be fine. So she's an Aries. He's a. They have a good vibe, probably.
Yeah.
Aries and Gemini. So. Not that anybody's going to work out with Johnny, but I think that she'll be able to handle him better than Jess is. I don't know what Jess' sign is. Johnny says though he doesn't want to be just friends with her.
Ooh.
Like, he's so messy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So then at this time, Jess is complaining to Imani, and she's fuming still and more fuming, and she's fuming and more fuming. I thought that they were good now. Is it because he's talking to Georgia?
Yeah, exactly. But he told her he told her he was going to talk to Georgia. It's first thing in the morning. I mean, they're having just a chat on the swing, right? Like, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be, the shy talk is going to get old. I think until they're in a couple, the shy talk is going to be the thing. Jess pulls Johnny for another chat. Johnny must be like, oh my God, can I be with anybody else? I need a recoupling. She's so annoying. She's like, I want to talk to you. And they're like, we're good. He's like, we're good. And then he's like, he's such a dick. He's like, oh, the way that you're acting right now is kind of sexy.
It's like, don't hype her up like that.
He's doing it though, so that she like thinks that she's like that he likes her, that he finds her attractive, that he finds her hot.
He's playing her. He knows what she wants to hear, and he's just giving that to her. He does not care about
after he says that, what does he ask her for?
A kiss?
Yes. And then I wrote like, so damn manipulative, right? Because like, so she's mad, comes to give him a talk. He's like, what? We're good. And then, oh, the way you're acting, you're all mad. It's kind of sexy. She's still mad, but like she doesn't know what to do because he's kind of complimenting her, but she's not able to get her point across. Then he asks her for a kiss, and she wants to give him a kiss, but she's still mad, but he's complimenting her. And it's just like he's really trying to rattle her so that he could just like control her. And it's it's really
toxic
really
101.
Toxic 101, 100%. Tsunami saw a tweet the other day that said that Johnny's the type of man that will send you to a strict women's Bible study.
Absolutely.
And never eating at Cheesecake Factory
He's
again.
Mr. Where's My Hug, 100%.
I hate that. He sucks. So Georgia tells Megan in the vanity room about like what's going on with her, and wait, I put worried. About being worried.
Megan, Georgia and Megan, is that when they talk? And she tells Georgia about what she did with the AL the night before.
Right. But what did Georgia say? She's worried about maybe Jess or her Jess's feelings?
I think she was worried about Jess a little bit because Jess was still kind of throwing her tantrum from the night before and the snob Mary Pie and feeling a little bit anxious about like stepping on her toes. And Megan was like, there's no toes to step on. Like
she's like, we're the UK girls. We're the real bombshells.
Exactly.
Like we're real season 4.
Exactly.
Let's just rule this house. Mm-hmm. And so they're talking about though whether or not she should tell Kira about the fact that she maybe tried to kiss Sayal, or maybe that she's feeling that things are too serious. Like obviously you're supposed to say something, Megan.
Yes.
Just the one reason why a lot of female relationships, they like them so much is that the communication level is a lot stronger. They talk about their feelings. And so you not talking about your feelings with Kira is not going to go over well with Kira.
No, there's no way.
And so this is when Justine started to get a little bit upset about having feelings for Jack. And so she's telling him, which is very cute. She's like, you better not be falling in love with me. Are you falling in love with me? You better not be. Cute, flirty. He's into it.
She's 100% in love with him.
Yeah.
I'm a Pisces. I know. That's what we do. You're like, you don't love me, do you? Do you? Tell me you love me. Tell me you love me right now.
You though, right? Oh, and then you're gonna overthink it and then just like dwell on every single thing that's been said, which is what she does to Ray. And she's worried that she's feeling Jack more than Jack is feeling her, especially with what she went through with Caleb. But now Caleb is an Aquarius, so you're not gonna have that same experience because Caleb, like Aquarius is, you guys don't vibe with your communication, especially in love relationships. And so, yes, he was also doing some shitty stuff, but like how he communicates with you is not going to be satisfactory to what you need. And I think that Jack is.
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's fair enough for her to be feeling cautious, like she's in the same exact situation, right? And the last time she went through this, she thought everything was all sweet. She had faith, and then came out to like the worst hurt she was hurt so much because she allowed herself to be so vulnerable. And I think now that she like really they just need to talk because she's realizing that she likes him more than she thought she did. And she's just worried that it's going to happen again. So
now, I mean, I understand from her perspective, but me, when I was watching her season, I knew immediately that it wasn't, as much as I wanted it for them, I was very happy that they won the show together. I just never fully believed it.
Got it. Yeah.
I just, A, astrologically, it wasn't working. And B, what he was giving her wasn't enough for me. And I didn't necessarily feel it for me.
Yeah.
And so I was happy that they're going to try and explore it. When you're young in your 20s, you're on a dating game show, give it a go. But like, I personally just didn't feel it. And this one I do feel.
Absolutely, because like just the way that they're so affectionate with each other, the way that he's like so attentive. And I think I was watching one of their pregame YouTube, Sally and Justine, and she was telling a story about how they both share like a nut allergy. And there was a day when they weren't filming because it was lunchtime, and he found out that there were chickpeas in the salad, and she's deadly allergic. And he came like running over, be like, "Don't eat the salad!"
Oh,
yeah. This is cute. I love this.
That is cute. And like, I remember people they were so mad at me. I was covering the season, and they're just like, "You're just a hater. You just don't want black love." Like, people were coming for me because like I had an opinion about not seeing their connection personally. And do you know that all those people after messaged me and was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. Like, you were right. And I was like, it's not that I didn't want it for her. I just didn't see the spark that a lot of people were just like, they're wanting to see. And she was probably wanting to see it as well. And maybe any red flags, or like, she just allowed herself to the desire to be with this person and win the show to kind of supersede her red flag
intuition.
Yeah. So I just remember like people were showing me clips of like that he like, I don't know, like gave her a kiss when they were doing the construction challenge. And I was like, he's still good at, like, he likes her enough to give her a little peck here and there. But like, I just didn't see that spark that people were saying that these were like.
It wasn't passionate. You didn't see the fire. Yeah.
I did not. And so she's crying to Ray, and he's comforting her, and he was doing a good job comforting her, I thought. Like, it didn't make her feel small or anything like that, but she's just so scared. I'm like,
I really love that friendship. It was so nice to see. I thought that was really sweet of him to just like be there for her and give her a hug. And oh,
so Danny, okay, what is it? Tea that's is it spoiler tea, or oh god, I don't know if it has to do with anything that happens in the season. I would say no tea, please. Okay, it is kind of spoilery, but okay. Do we want to see it? Or should I not highlight it?
I want to know.
Okay. Okay, so spoiler alert if you don't want to know what's going on here, but this is not necessarily super tea, but if you don't want to know, just turn away for like a minute. So Danny says, I know someone that saw Sally, Justine, and Jack at a restaurant in LA recently during lunch. That's great. Now, it does seem, though, that they are friends with all the people. Like, even the way Justine and Sally talk about Toby, they're like, "Oh, Toby, I love Toby." And so it could
they just had I think they had a watch party at Justine's house a few episodes ago. Deb was there, Johnny was there, like Carrington, like Toby, like everybody was there. So it does seem that they're really bonded through this experience of having been on the show, and they've remained good friends. So we don't know what it means, but I'm hoping
that's a good thing. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not super spoilery because that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but we can read into it however we like.
Yes.
Danita was definitely.
I'm reading into it like they're getting married. I'm going to be at the wedding.
I mean, I want them to get married. Because, like, okay, well, if we think about it, her relationship with Cameron, was his name Cameron?
Caleb?
No, the redhead guy. That friendship.
Oh, Callum.
No.
Yeah. His name is Callum.
The Portuguese guy?
Yeah, with the freckles?
His name's not Callum.
Yes, it is.
Right? Callum?
It's Callum.
No.
It's Callum.
Cameron?
It's Callum.
I don't think so.
I swear.
Callum is not, in my opinion, a Portuguese name. It's very British. Someone's going to tell us in the chat for you.
I swear it's
I don't think it's Callum. Anyways, though, he's a Capricorn. And I remember his sign better than I remember his name. And they had a really, really good friendship. They were dancing together. And so hopefully that means that she's going to have some good vibes with Jack. You know, having that. Yeah. Okay, so what? Love Island season 2?
Yeah.
I think it's Cameron. What's his damn name, that boy? Give me the cast. Give me the darn cast. Are you going to find it before me?
See what the internet has. Calvin!
Okay, we're both right. You got the C-A-L. I got the C-A at the end. I was like, no, I would remember it was Callum. Because I think it's a very British name. Or UK, British, Australian. I don't know any Callums in the...
I do. I have 2 friends named Callum.
Really? From here?
They're both Irish.
They're Irish, yeah.
Yeah. But they, grew up here. 2 Callums.
I don't know any, interestingly enough. Okay, so where are we? So she's sad, she's comforting him, and she's crying about it. I'm like, Justine, just don't self-sabotage. I know it's hard, but you just gotta jump into this like you had never been hurt before and just enjoy what you're feeling without guarding your heart. I know it's easy to say, but if you don't want to F it up, you gotta just lean into it. So I'm hoping that she does. I really hope that she doesn't ruin it.
Exactly. And I'm hoping that they're able to communicate about it, because even if this is just like, even if she starts self-sabotaging, if he's really interested in her, like, he will be able to pacify her, you know, if they can communicate effectively.
And they might be able to, because he likes her. You guys are behind, but yes.
This man is never not touching her.
He likes her. So they're all getting ready for the night. And I knew that Jay Cutts was going to appear because we see Toby getting a lineup from Johnny. Liberty and AL are talking. It's going to be high stakes, and there's a special host. I guess they got a text when Liberty and AL were talking. And Liberty, she's calling it out, and she's like, E-Y-K-T-K.
She's so cute.
I'm like, everything, if you know, you know. And she's like,
I was like, oh my God, just bless her. She is so cute.
So, yes, they're going to be having a high stakes challenge. So the couples need to learn a little bit about each other. They felt that if you know is kind of was like, okay, it's like you need to know each other really well. So Ray asked what Imani's number is. She says 100, and he was like, I think she was lying. It doesn't matter either way, but like,
but I'm glad she started with that. Because what, you're gonna have a problem with me having sex with that many people?
No, but and then she laughed. Like, it was just a funny moment. Like, she didn't say anything damning at all, but it was a funny little reaction. What's her name? Megan and Kira were talking about like favorite sex positions, and Kira said tribbing, and I didn't know what tribbing was, and so I looked it up. Did you look it up?
Oh yeah, no, I knew what tribbing was.
Well, I only heard of it as scissoring, so like I didn't know tribbing.
That's a great question. I mean, if there's any lesbians in the chat, are tribbing and scissoring different? You know, because in my mind, I feel like tribbing is more of like a
horizontal thing.
Yeah, horizontal, and scissoring is more of a
scissor.
Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, if anyone knows,
maybe scissoring is a form of tribbing.
You know what? Probably, I would say so.
I mean, it's like get it however you can kind of vibes.
Yeah. And so is scissoring out? Is that outdated? Is that the kids aren't saying scissoring?
Oh my God, am I like because tribbing? I was like, what the hell's tribbing?
Yeah, like because I knew that tribbing was a thing, but I didn't know. I just don't know if they're different. So someone in the chat, let us know. If this is the first time you've heard of it, I mean, good luck with your Google searches.
I mean, I knew I had to look it up because I was like, I feel like I know stuff, and I was like, never heard of this before. I'm like, yeah. So I think it's a form of scissoring.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hosted by Maura, and I wonder if Johnny will be able to understand her. Is what I was because her accent is thick. You
know what? That was one of the first things that I thought too, because he never seems to understand the UK guys. So I was like, good luck with Maura.
Like at all. On Johnny's live with Steph. Like he doesn't understand what Steph is even saying. So I don't even know how they're friends because like
how are you homies? You don't even talk.
You're just laughing, but like you have no idea what he's saying. So this is when Maura comes in, she's so messy. She's like, I see a kicked out Curtis.
I love that she said that. I'm so happy that she did that.
And that's particularly why I was like, dang it, we don't get to see Lisa being jealous over Maura, his ex-girlfriend, hosting the game. And like,
but do you think that she would have given us jealousy? She would have been just sitting there like, she never gave us any energy.
Well, that's the energy that like I wanted her to be like, but like them being like giving him some attitude, like if they have like a back and
more
forth.
Face.
I guess, yeah. Maybe if it would spark something more. Maybe that's what I was hoping.
I would have loved to see Lisa have the same energy that towards Curtis that Jess has with Johnny after one day.
Right? Mm-hmm. So knowing me, knowing you is the game that they're playing, and it's a little bit different than what they're expecting because it's what is your partner thinking? There's going to be point values for all these things, and so let's just kind of go through these questions. So which Islander does your partner think is hot? They all got this correct. So Georgia said Selly. Georgia for her partner. So Toby said Selly. Jesse, I guess I put Justine's name, but I should say their name. So Jack said Imani. Callum said Megan. Ray said Selly. Johnny said Georgia. Megan said Ayal. And Ayal said Imani. And so they all got this correct. Were any of these surprising to you?
No. Yeah, you know what? The only one that did surprise me was that Ayal had Imani as his favorite.
Well, but he kissed her, right?
I know they kissed, but I didn't. At that point, I thought, oh, maybe it's just game. But now with the confirmation that she was the one that he was probably the most attracted to, then I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm interested in like this swirl. That's cute.
Well, I didn't see it for them, but now I'm like, oh, okay. I'm here for it. You know, I'm here for the Shonda Rhimes agenda.
So the next question is, what does your partner think your best quality is? So Selly was eyes, and Toby got that right, which I was surprised by because I would think that that's not Toby. Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Justine, smile, they got that right. Callum says tits. They got that wrong.
I'm actually not. I'm not surprised. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, of course you said tits. Of course you said tits.
And when she said, like, oh, that I'm like kind and endearing, or I can't remember what she said.
She said kind-hearted. That was because obviously that is her most, like, if I know that and I've just seen her on TV. But he's sitting there having been with her for weeks and winning challenges with her, sleeping in the same bed with her, and he's just thinking tits.
Yep, that's his depth level.
Yeah.
Imani says, Ray says intelligence for Imani, but that was incorrect. What was her answer? Do you remember?
Nurturing.
I don't know if I would have chosen that from what I've seen of her.
No, I haven't seen anything nurturing of her, so I would not have seen that, and I haven't seen any of those conversations. So
I would think intelligence as well, with her having getting her master's in molecular biology. So intelligence seems more so what she leads with from what I've seen. So Johnny was saying that Jess was going to be bubbly. They got that right. Megan and Kira says everything, and they got that incorrect. You remember what their correct answer was?
No.
So, sex appeal. Oh, we're for Kira? Yeah, I don't remember. She's so boring. And Eyal and Selly says everything, and that was correct. So which Islanders partner would leave them on red? This is for 25 points. So Georgia and Toby said Callum. Callum took a lot of heat on this one. That was incorrect, though. Do you remember what the correct answer was? I should have written them both down. I thought I'd remember.
And so this is for Georgia, who Toby was going to leave on red. I think he said Ray.
Oh, yeah, probably. That would make sense. Yeah, because they have their little fake fighty thing. Justine said Callum for Jack, and they got that correct, like a little brother thing. Liberty said Kira for Callum, which makes sense because, the whole Megan thing. Jess says Selly for Johnny, got that correct. Kira says Callum for Megan, also correct. Imani says Toby for Ray, and that was incorrect. So did Ray say Callum? Probably.
Yeah, I think so. No, Ray said Toby.
I wrote down Toby and it was wrong though.
Oh.
Maybe I wrote that down incorrectly. Okay. And then Selly said Megan for Eyal, and that was correct. And then messy Maura was like, "What? You haven't pied her since?" And he was like, "Am I supposed to be coming clean about this now?"
You could tell that he was really nervous and that he was unsure of what to do. And because I think he wanted to give Megan the opportunity to tell Kira first. And so he's like, he's very much deer in headlights. But I mean, I loved it. I'm glad that
and then Kira with the look of death or whatever coming over her, and Megan was like, "I was just having a little flirt," and she's like, "It is what it is," and I was like, "Oh boy!" And they're like, "It is what it is." Like they don't know who they're messing with, and Megan does not care. Sorry, Kira.
And it's tough though as well because it's not just like these are some girls that are in the villa together. Like Justine and Selly and Kira are like really good friends. So now you have hurt all three of them, and I don't know if that dynamic is gonna be okay.
Yeah, I don't know. She might not be able to get back in the friend group. So the girls are now answering, which Islander does your partner think is faking their relationship? So Georgia says Selly, and Selly's really hurt about this because apparently Toby is saying that Selly faked her relationship with him, and so Selly was crying though in her confessional,
and she was really upset, and I would be upset too because I don't think that she was faking it at all, and I think that he's interpreting the fact that she has more chemistry with Eyal as the fact that she didn't like him, but there was always something missing, and that something was his effort. So
absolutely.
Now you're calling her fake when you were the one that was slipping.
They get it wrong because the correct answer is Megan. That would have been the easy answer, but I think Georgia was being messy.
Yeah.
Jessica says Megan. They get that right. Justine says Johnny, and that is incorrect. I believe he said Megan. Kira said Callum, but the answer was actually Megan. Liberty says Megan, but the answer, I don't know who the answer was.
Who did Kira say?
Wrong. Liberty.
Yeah. Liberty
said Megan.
Liberty said Jack and Justine.
Oh, but the answer was Megan, so I wrote down the wrong thing.
Yeah. And then everyone was like, why would Liberty of all people say that?
And then Sally says Megan, which was correct for AL. Imani also says Megan, which was correct for Ray. And then they're asking her, have you been faking your relationship with Kira? I'm like, these people are just so darn messy.
They're just like twisting the knife.
Kira is not great at handling these things.
Oh my God.
For 50 points, which couple would your partner send home? So Georgia.
This is a messy question because you're basically saying next elimination, I'm voting for you.
Absolutely. Like, so whoever wins power couple could get revenge on whoever voted for them.
Exactly.
So Georgia says Megan and Kira, but she's wrong. I don't know who was the right answer. Justine says Johnny and Jess, and that's correct. Liberty says Jack and Justine. That's incorrect. And then that's what it should have been. Who would it have been? Oh, yeah, that's what Liberty said, Jack and Justine.
Oh, okay.
The last one, I'm not sure. And should have been obviously either, well, it could have been anybody, right? But Megan and Kira would probably have made the most sense.
Yeah. I think he probably said Johnny and Jess. I think a lot of people put Johnny and Jess up.
Only Justine. Maybe the right answer would have been Johnny and Jess, but they got him wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So Imani says Megan and Kira. They get that correct. Jess says Callum and Liberty. Get that correct. Kira says Callum and Liberty, and that's incorrect. It was probably Jess and what's his name? Mm-hmm. Maybe not though. Megan. Who would Megan have said?
I think Megan would have said
Ayala and Sally, maybe. Maybe it's Ayala and Sally.
Yeah.
And then Sally said Megan and Kira, but that was incorrect. I don't remember what the correct. I should have written down both, but it was too much writing. So the results here in 7th place with 35 points. Oh my God, Liberty and Callum, brutal. With 45 points, it's Georgia and Toby. So maybe Georgia's learning that Toby might be the weakest link in that duo.
Absolutely.
5th place with 110 points is Kira and Megan. 4th place with 120 points is Sally and Al. 3rd place with 160 points is Imani and Ray. And in 2nd place with 170 points is Jack and Justine, meaning that Johnny and Jess win this challenge and they're in 1st place.
We need to stop validating this toxic relationship. We have to take them down a peg. I can't allow this to continue.
I mean, this is what we're going to be getting. Now, what's good is that this wasn't an automatic power couple situation.
Yeah.
I think that the producers realized that they don't want them to be the power couple. So all these are going to be turning into coins where they're going to be putting.
So confusing. They're like, here's a bag of doubloons.
It's very Big Brother in the sense it's they've done it with cookies before. I think they've even done it maybe on the challenge where you fill up your opponents that you don't want to win with whatever. So in this case, it's going to be coins. And so you could use your coins to either equally distribute it across everybody, or if you want to pile it up on a certain team that you really want to get out. And so whoever has the most amount of coins are going to be in the bottom couple, and the least amount of coins is going to be the power couple. And so that is what is going to be happening tonight. Yeah. That is going to be messy for sure.
Do you have any predictions? Who do you think are going to be getting a lot of coins?
I think Megan and Kira are going to get a lot of coins because that's not going to have that much blowback. I think I feel like they're going to get a lot of the coins.
Based on the votes, though, I also think Johnny and Jess.
Johnny and Jess could get some because that's who they want to. A lot of people want to see out. Maybe Callum and Liberty a little bit.
Ooh, I don't think that anyone is gonna want to give too many to Liberty. And also, you have to remember, there's so many UK people in there, and there's that unspoken UK alliance. So
they might. Some might pile it on Justine and Jack just because they came second and they're a pretty strong couple.
Yeah.
So it could be an opportunity to blindly put them in danger. But yeah, so I guess my bottom three would be Kira and Megan, Johnny and Jess, and Justine and Jack. I think we'll get the most coins.
Yeah. Well, Can't wait to see what
We're
happens.
doing it tonight. Now I will be going live with my friend Miss T Joy, maybe and Tamika after the episode. So if you want to come on, or you might have plans, it's a Friday night. We're gonna go live after the episode. Other than that, we will talk again maybe on Monday about the 2 episodes following that. But do you have anything going on you'd like to share with the peoples?
Nothing at the moment, guys, but watch this space. I'll let them know what I do.
Yay! And thank you so much for being here, Miss Mansa. Everybody in the chat here for hanging out with us, talking about it. It's such a good show. I'm so happy that I'm talking about it. I'm so happy that you said yes and took a leap of faith and decided to hang out with a stranger who's now, I hope you can call your friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Talking about one of my favorite things, which is reality TV and Love Island. So please subscribe to this channel, like this video. Let us know who you think will be getting the most coins in tonight's episode, and we'll see you live in a couple hours.
All right.
See you in a bit. Take care, everybody. Thanks, chat. You guys are the best.